This is a quick video to show you how to draw the basic proportions of the human face. So I'm using a regular 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I have a 6.5 inch strip of paper, and I am going to go ahead and put it 2 fingers down from the top. I'm going to center it on the left and right. And now that I have this, what I'm going to do is try to make a circle out of those, not a square, not a diamond. So I kind of put my hand a little further out from the middle, and then I do a nice big curve. Turn the paper, nice big long curve. Notice I'm swinging my wrist, and that makes kind of like a compass. And then I just go in between those areas that I did. Try to make it nice and round. Double check it, make sure you don't have any flat areas. Now I'm going to go ahead and add an extra length of one of the marks down to here. And then I am going to do that kind of curve thing, and I'm going to bring it in to here inside the edge of that circle we just did, and this is going to represent the chin. I might be doing it a little too wide here, something like that. And then I can go ahead and erase that part of the circle over here and this part of the circle over here. And you have something that's going to basically represent the shape of the head. So now I'm going to draw a line down the center vertically, and then I'm going to find the center this way. So I think it's about here. Oh, that is too low. Go higher, try again. That's about right there. So I'm going to go mostly straight here, and then I'm going to curve it up a little bit on the ends. And now I'm going to go back to my little slip of paper, put it right back there, so I am making sure it's even with the width of the circle here, and I'm going to do a little tiny dot on that middle line that I did. This is going to be the middle of the eyes. Just a little dot. Don't make a big long mark there. That'll mess you up when we actually draw the eyes. So it went right there. Notice there is no mark in the center. Everything is centered, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different spaces. This is going to be the basic width of the eyes and the placement of the eyes. Now I'm going to go ahead, and from that middle line to the chin, I'm going to try to find the center. So I think it's approximately here. Yep, good guess. Back and forth, back and forth. This is going to be the bottom of the nose, and this is going to be part of the mouth. I'm now going to find the middle area between these two dots, and I am going to do a dotted line straight down this side and this side. So remember, we're skipping the center area. Find these two here, dotted line down here, and that is going to be the width of the mouth. And then here, from these two marks, dotted line down to here, and that is going to be the maximum width of the nostrils of the nose, the widest part of it right down there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go ahead and draw not the eyelid of the eye, but the crease where the top of the eyelid kind of, like you can feel your eyeball in there. And I'm making it just ever so slightly wider than these two marks here. I'm going to try to make it about the same here. The height of it is a little bit less, a little bit shorter than the width of my pointer finger. I'm going to make this one slightly higher and this one slightly lower and try to get them to match more or less. I'm drawing pretty dark so you can see it. You should draw very lightly. Now here, the bottom eyelid is different from the top. The top crease is about here. The bottom one, you have your tear duct in here. I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to start at this little mark here, the bottom of that crease for the upper eyelid, and I'm going to make a little curve down there. Do the same over here, little curve. Then I'm going to start over here. I am not going the same distance from this line here. I'm going much closer to it, but curve it down, and then from here, curve it down and make it meet. So, little curve. Bring it down here closer to that line, and then bring it down here and make them connect. It looks a little like a lemon, I think. Like this is the top of the lemon. All right, now for the nose. I'm going to do a circle drawn very lightly for the ball of the nose. Kind of look at the spacing there. Here's my finger if you kind of want to see. It's maybe half a finger width from these lines that I did that come underneath the tear duct. And now for the nostril, the part that like the hole in the bottom of the nose, I'm just bringing it up under the ball of the nose that I drew here, curving it up and curving it around, and look at the spacing between that and this. Now for the flesh part of the nose, I'm going to come here, a little bit distance here, curve and come up just like that. So again on this side, curve down, curve up, like this. So then the area of the nose that kind of sticks out between the eyes, it's not right on the tear duct. If you put your finger in there, you can feel it. So I go in a little space and I curve up and then I wiggle and do some eyebrows. When I do the other side, because I'm right-handed, I like to turn my paper upside down so that the curve of my hand kind of fits the space like that. There you have your eyebrows. And then the connection from here to here, I don't actually connect. I come from slightly outside this little curve that we did for the outside of the flesh part of the nostril, and then I come slightly inside that part we drew there, and that starts to try to mimic a little bit of the depth of the nose. For the mouth. Okay, so it looks like this is probably going to be the split between the lips. So what I'm going to do is a little, like a smile here, and then I'm going to come down and over to that line that we drew basically halfway down the middle of the eye. And I'm going to mimic that on the other side, right to there. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom of the lip. I'm going to draw the bottom part a little bit narrower than that. Some people's top lip is wider, some people's bottom lip is wider. I'm making the top lip a little wider. Okay, so I have that right there, and now I'm going to come up above this and do that little dip in the top lip, and then bring it down to there. Bring up, oop, that's a little higher than the other side, bring it down to there. And that's okay. Lips, they're a little bit big probably. I am, I think, going to go ahead and make the bottom lip a little bit narrower so it'll look a little bit better. Okay, so now for the pupil and the iris. So if the whole eye is looking straight ahead, the iris, the colored part, I would say is probably about that big. I'm going to kind of center them. And then I'm going to draw, like this is a donut, and I have the hole in the middle of a donut. And that's going to be the pupil. That's going to be the black part. That's the colored part. Now, don't color this in yet, because we are going to do some erasing. Now I'm going to actually close the upper eyelid over the iris. So I would say, generally speaking, when you're kind of just looking normally, the eyelid is going to come down and cover a little bit of the iris. But it starts from the middle over here. And then I'm just curving it to this and curving it down to the other point there. So here, I didn't draw this quite round. It's going to go about here, start in the middle here, curve up, curve down to that side. And now the bottom eyelid is narrower than the top, so this is pretty wide here. I'm going to start at this tear duct, and I'm going to, actually I'm going to start right in the middle there. I'm going to bring it down, and I'm just going to graze the bottom of the colored part, the iris. Just graze it. So start for the middle, Bring it down a little just to graze it, about like that. And then you can go ahead and color in the dark, dark, dark pupil. Go around in circles, circles, circles. Color nice and dark. And then I'm not going to show a whole lot of shading on this, but basically I kind of scribble to do a little border around the pupil. This part is getting erased because that's behind the lid. And then I'm going to go ahead and do kind of little random lines that head towards the center. Here, very random. And then I'm going to get it even lighter as I come towards the center so we have a little bit of depth on that eye. All right, now for the ears, sorry. So your ears are lined up with the eyebrow, so if you bring that over, and with the bottom of the nose. I know that's going to seem like they're too big, but if you measure yours, they are like that. So the start of the ear starts lower, comes up to that line I just drew, and then here it starts higher than that line and goes down for the ear lobe. Keep the lobe very, very close to the head. Something like that, and then I do an extra little line here, and I do an extra little thing there for where you can actually, where your hearing is, where the hole in your ear. Okay. All right, try to get the other one fairly even. And out like that. Line, and then that part. That's close enough for ears. All right, now for hair. So I am just going to show a couple hairstyles. Basically, if it's a short hairstyle, you have your hairline somewhere around here. You maybe have a little bit of hair in front of the ear. I mean, if you have sideburns, it could come way down into here, but I'm not going to do that. So a little bit of a hairline, and then you want some volume of the hair. And you want to try not to draw every hair. You want to do clusters of hair. So if this is short hair, this is the same way I draw grass. Little clusters, little squiggly clusters, and you should see kind of the roots of the hair at the hairline. You shouldn't actually, by the time you're done, see that line there. You should just see your clusters of hair. If you try to draw every single hair, it will take you forever, and it will actually look like the person has less hair. Because when you look at somebody's hair, you see that it clusters together. It isn't like that. Every hair doesn't appear even. You have these clusters, and some darker, some lighter. So that's short hair. If you wanted longer hair, what I do, again, is I do clusters of it. I'm doing it like I have maybe a part here. Clusters of hair. Let's see if this hair, maybe it's longer, maybe it comes down. This type of thing. Give it some volume. Now if you want it to be even longer, you could bring it back here. I'm not going to do anything right here because I have to put the neck in first. All right, so clusters of hair, and then I do some of the shading. Again, just like when I was doing the short hair, you don't try to do every hair. You do some clusters of it. Some of them might get further apart, get a little closer together. You can do a little shading on the clusters and do a few more dark lines where the cluster might come together. Something like that. Go behind the ear. Make sure by the time you're done drawing this, at least one of the ears shows up. So if you have longer hair you're drawing, put it behind at least one of the ears. Okay, so the neck, it's not as wide as the ears. I would say it starts about here and then gets narrower. Something like that. And then you have the shoulder muscle that comes here and comes out. So now I can show the hair continuing down like that. All right, there is a lot more to drawing a face than just that, but that's enough to get a basic idea.